Hey, morning, Blas. Good afternoon, everyone. Will be This will be a recorded class, so I'll be discussing to you about our weekly topic. Um, for module one, lesson seven, which is the operations of today, and for lesson eight, our key issues for today's business. So for our discussion will be the operations of today. Now, we all know that in our situation right now, yung panahon ngayon, alam na natin ang nangyayari, na yung involvement na yun ng business organizations in terms of business, uh, nag-a-advance. Nag-a-advance na ngayon ang ating business organizations. So, napapansin nyo, karamihan ngayon, especially during this time of pandemic, mostly yung mga business organizations ginagamit ang tinatawag nating electronic business. So yung uh, yung ginagamit nila is with the use of the internet, they transact business using the internet, using what we call technology. Yun yung platform na ginagamit nila ngayon. So karamihan, no, uh, karamihan ng platform na ginagamit, meron tayong gumagamit ng Lazada, meron tayong ng Shopee, meron din yung Zalora, at marami pang iba. Now, some others who could not able to afford to create a platform, ginagamit na lang ngayon ng Facebook, no, ang social media. They can also use yung Instagram. So, karamihan na, they use what we call the use of internet, electronic business or e-business or what we call e-commerce. Okay, so that's the trend. That's the trend that we are using right now. So yun yung karamihan na ginagamit natin ngayon. Now, with the use of technology, technology has been be a great help in terms of the operations of different business organizations. So, technology refers to the application of scientific discoveries to the development and improvement of goods and services. It can involve knowledge, materials, methods, and equipment. Okay, so knowledge, with the use of knowledge, an example nun is with the use of information technology. The use of materials, we use our smartphones, we use our laptops, we use our desktops in trying to purchase materials. How about the methods? The methods naman, gumagamit na tayo ngayon ng technology ng machines, no, or certain equipments in order to improve our productivity, no, para ma-increase natin ang productivity natin and we can be able to improve our own process. So that's the use of what we call technology. Now, the term high technology refers to the most advanced and developed machines and methods. Operations management is primarily concerned with three kinds of technology. Okay? So, focus concern ngayon is yung product and service technology, process technology, and the last one is what we call the information technology. So, with this, now, so these have all the major impacts. These three have a major impact in terms of cost, productivity, and competitiveness. Why? Okay, first, in product and service technology, when we try to develop certain products and services, okay, we will be able to increase our productivity. We could be able to be competitive in developing a new product. Because nowadays, ang ginagawa ng mga karamihan na ginagawa ng mga karamihan na ginagawa ng mga business organizations ngayon is they try to develop a, a product, or they try to innovate certain product, no, to stay ahead in the competition. So because the competition lies within the system ng business organization. Nag-i-introduce ng isang product tulad ni Samsung. Nakikita niyo yung competition na meron tayo sa phone tulad ni Samsung tsaka ni Apple. Nag-i-introduce si Samsung habang tinatapatan naman ni Apple yung mga products na meron si Samsung. So, that's how they able to uh, that's why technology has an impact in terms of cost, productivity, and competitiveness. Okay. Next is the process technology. Now, in process technology is from developing your own steps, your own process from the manual to automation. No? So, it has an impact, number one, on costs, no? And productivity. Bakit? Pag napapabilis natin yung proseso natin, yung proseso natin, we could be able to reduce cost. Okay? Yung natatrabaho ng 10 tao, natatapos nila ng 10 araw, no? Ino-automate mo, gumagamit ka ngayon ng machines, no? Gumagamit ka ngayon ng machine na kayang trabahuin ng 10 tao, na kayang tapusin ngayon ng 2 araw. So that's the purpose of improving your method. That's why improving your procedures. We use equipment to produce goods, no, to process or to improve our own process. Now, in terms of productivity, the higher the yield, mas madami kang nagagawa, madami kang output, madami kang nabebenta, nagiging productive ka. Pag nagiging productive ka, it follows you stay you stay ahead in the competition against your other competitors. So that's why uh, process technology has a great impact in terms of business organizations. Okay. Now, the next one is information technology. Refers to the science and use of computers and other electronic equipment to store, process, and send information. So, information technology has also a great impact to the business organizations. We can be able to gather data, no, in the market, whereby with this certain data, this will be our basis in determining the needs and the wants of the consumers. When determining the needs and the wants, we could able to produce these certain products, and we could be able to deliver and eventually satisfy our customers. No? Kasi ngayon, with the click of the computer, with the click of a button, nakikita na natin, nalalaman na natin kung ano-ano yung mga iba't ibang gusto at kailangan ng mga tao. No? So that is what we call information technology that has been a great impact, that has been a great support to our business organizations. Okay, next. It is high on the list of major trends, and it promises to be high well in the future. So karamihan ngayon, no, if they have that certain capital, they have that certain finances, mataas maganda ang profit nila. No? Like, bumibili na sila ng mga machines in order to be more productive. No? Just like yung farming. No? Dati-dati, truck, baka, winuwang, tusurin tayo. No? Pinagtalon tayo ng dati traktore. No? Hindi pinag-apit tayo, manual. Katan, no mapandamit at dati, they use the reaper na kuna tayo. So, the automation, the use of this technology has been a major trend. No? nakakatulong na ito in the improvement of our services and of our products to be more productive. Okay. Now, another form of type of operations in the business is what we call globalization. Okay, globalization is the process by which businesses or other organizations develop international influence or start operating at an international scale. Okay, when we say globalization, we are now trying to compete. We are now in the international scene. We are now trying to compete our products in the global market. Now, that has been now the trend. Now, karamihan, they now import or export, I should say, they now export their products to other countries to compete with their different products. No? So, karamihan meron tayo ngayon. There are a lot of business organizations, especially in Ilocos na they are now into global scene. One example is yung um, chichaco, Ilocos Chichacorn. No? They are now selling their products abroad. In San Vicente, I think they are now exporting also one of their products. Now, um, ang trend ngayon na ginagawa ngayon ng Department of Trade and Industry is they are trying to help this small scale industry, no? So yung small scale or yung business organizations to develop or to be able to market their products in the global scene, no? Nagkakaroon ng trade fair ang DTI to help these business organizations sell their product in the global arena. So with this, when we say globalization, it has a great impact again in terms of competitiveness, in terms of cost. Bakit? Kasi yung cost, bibilhin ng mga tao yan ng ibang lahi, no? Bibilhin nila dollars. They will not pay you in peso, but they will pay you in dollars. So the effect is double the profit. Iba yung profit na makuha mo as in peso, iba ba rin yung nakukuha mo siya as in dollars. Okay? So that's the impact. Now, when we go to globalization, there are different competitive pressures. So what are those competitive pressures? No? So yun yung sinasabi natin, competitive pressures. What are those areas that we need to focus on, no? We need to give emphasis on in order for us to stay alive in the competition or stay ahead in the competition. Number one is what we call operations strategy. So, in operations strategy, we try to develop certain actions, so certain activities in order to improve our system. No? Some of them paid dearly for that neglect. No more and more companies now, more and more companies are recognizing the importance of operations strategy on the overall success of their business, as well as the necessity for relating it to the overall business strategy. Now, dun sa operations strategy, ginagawa mo is we identifying some of your objectives. Upon identifying your objectives, what are those things that you need to do in order for you to attain that certain objective and for you to attain your organizational goal. So, ano yung mga sistema mo? Ano yung mga gagawin mo para ma-attain mo? Okay? So, karamihan ng operations strategy are focused on developing certain systems that tries to give emphasis on efficiency, effectiveness, and productivity. Okay? So those are the different emphasis of operations strategy. They want to be, they focus on how they can able to be productive, how can they be efficient, and how can they be effective in the business. Next is working with fewer resources to due to layoffs. No? Because the problem is, one of the problem is we try to when we try to develop our system, when we try to develop our we try to develop our process, when we try to improve our system from manual to automation, ang nangyayari, natatanggal yung may mga natatanggal na empleyado kasi yung tatrabahuhin ng makina, no? Yung tatrabahuhin ng 5 tao, papalitan ngayon ng isang makina. Okay? Papalitan ngayon ng isang makina. Now, with that certain factor, no, ang magiging problema natin ngayon, is saan mapupunta yung mga empleyado na tinanggal na napalitan ng dahil sa makina. Now, yun yung tinatawag natin corporate downsizing, nagiging cost. And we are taking measures to cut down our costs. No, yes, because of that certain actions, ang nangyayari is uh, limited na, hindi mo napapasuldahan yon, limited na papasuldahan mo kasi gamitin mo na yun. The general cost is cut down already. Now, yun yung tinatawag natin is yung trade-off. No? Trade-off natin. Ano yung trade-off na gagawin natin? So, from marketing, from production, no? I-trade-off na natin to, ilalagay na natin sila sa marketing. They will try to help your business sell the product. No? Kasi mahirap din naman magtanggal ng empleyado sa organizations. No? No? So, we have to work with fewer resources. So, that's how we're able to cut off our costings, by improving our production. By improving our production, gumagamit na tayo ng makina. Kasi pag gumamit tayo ng makina, yung tatapusin ng 10 tao, yun nga, tatapusin ng 10 tao sa 10 araw, binabayaran mo sila ng 50,000 for that 10 days. Pwede ka naman gumamit ng machine na tatapusin ng 10 tao sa 10 araw, tatapusin niya lang ng 1 araw. Pero the cost is 50,000 din, no? So ganun yung factors. Now next is what we call revenue management. In revenue management, how would we able to manage our profit? How would we able to manage our income? No? So karamihan ng ginagawa is they try to invest, no? They try to invest into stock market. They try to put up another type of business. They try to introduce a new line of business, no? New line of business. They try to branch out. Yun yung ginagawa ngayon ng business organizations in order for them to improve, or how they able to double their money by investing to another type of business. Because in revenue management, you have the ability to, or the influence to be able to price manipulation. No? Just like dun sa mga airlines, no? Sa mga hotels, they offer discounts. Dun sa pag-o-offer ng discounts, that is already price manipulation. So in the price manipulation na sinasabi natin doon, no, they can be able to give discounts. By giving discounts, for example, sa airlines, ang ginagamit, okay, piece of fare. Well, nakikita mo, piece of fare. Kasi sa mga tao na-attract sa mga ganyan, sa mga discounts, sa mga sale, no? So they try to purchase that certain type of promo. But in that certain aspect, that's one part of how would we able to encourage the customers to purchase their product. Now, dinidictate nila yung price, yet nakikita natin na maganda naman ang income. Nakita nyo ngayon ang nakita nyo ngayon ang nakita nyo ngayon ang Cebu Pacific, 'di ba? Your airline of choice. Kaya ngayon, mataas na ang profitability ng revenue management nila. Nag-o-offer na sila ng madaming fleet, madaming eroplano, madaming lugar na pupuntahan. Okay? Next is yung process analysis and improvement. In process analysis and improvement, no, that is one factor that we try to improve our process. Cut down in time includes cost and time reduction, productivity improvement, process yield improvement, and quality improvement and increasing customer satisfaction. This is referred to as Six Sigma process. So yung Six Sigma process is we try to improve our system to be ang main focus niyan is yung process analysis and improvement or what we call Six Sigma is yung focus niyan is yung being efficient, being effective, and being productive. That's the focus of what we call Six Sigma. No? So, reduce natin yung time, nagre-reduce tayo ng cost, no? Nag-i-improve tayo ng productivity. So, that's how we'll be able to be competitive in the market. Okay. Now, the next one is what we call agility. So, in agility, refers to the ability to respond quickly to these certain demands. How would you able to respond? Because in certain in competition, ang nangyayari sa competition ganito eh. Nag-i-introduce si Samsung. Tapos, syempre, how would you able to respond to it? Nag, na, because in competition, nagiging stiff yung competition, they both keep on introducing products. No? Nag-i-introduce pa lang, introduce pa lang ni Samsung, meron na naman pangtapat si Apple. Ganun yun. So, how would you able to respond quickly to these certain demands? Because, um, in order to survive in the competition, sinasabi natin we have to focus on innovation. You keep on developing system. You keep on developing your product to stay ahead. Now, in that developing, in that improvement, how fast can you respond? No, how fast can you respond to this certain type of changes? Kasi pag hindi ka nag-respond kaagad, may tendency na matatalo ka, no? Kasi sisiguraduhin nila na ay mabagal yung improvement. So pag mabagal yung improvement, they the a bit the trust that you will be able to be able to get from your customers magiging impossible na. So those are the focus of what we call globalization. Okay? Okay. So our next topic is what are the key issues for today's business operations? So there are different key issues for today's business operations. There are a number of issues. Number one, right now is what we call economic conditions. Is the lingering recession and slow recovery in various sectors of the economy. Has made managers to be cautious about investment and rehiring workers who had been laid off during the recession. Okay. So in economic conditions, ang nagiging concern natin dito is during this, for example, during this time of pandemic, no? During this time of pandemic, nakikita natin na ang nagiging problema sa economic conditions natin, there are some business organizations that did not open, no, or nag-reduce time na sila ng operations because of this pandemic. Now with that certain aspect, no, ang naapektuhan yung mga tao kasi for example si Juan, nagtatrabaho sa isang business organizations. Ngayon, si Juan, no, si Juan, natanggal sa trabaho. Ay, hindi nagtrabaho. Ngayon, ang magiging problema, hindi siya masesweldohan. Pag hindi siya masesweldohan, wala siyang perang pambili ng product. Pag wala siyang perang pambili ng product, hindi makakabenta yung business organization. Pag walang mabenta yung business organizations, walang itatax ang gobyerno. Pag walang itatax ang gobyerno, walang perang mapupunta sa gobyerno. Pag walang perang mapupunta sa gobyerno, walang perang gagamitin paggagawa ng paggagawa ay pagbibigay ng produkto sa mga or pagbibigay ng mga produkto or pangangailangan ng mga tao sa ekonomiya. So that's one of the problem in terms of economic conditions because job generation should be a big factor in terms of our economic conditions. Pag may trabaho, may sisweldohan. Pag may sisweldohan, may pera kang pambili. Yung bibilhin mo, itatax yan ng gobyerno para may gagamitin ng gobyerno para sa proyekto. No? No, economic conditions, yeah, that is one of the that is one conditions that we are experiencing right now. Now, the next one is what we call innovating. In innovating, we finding or new improved products, no, or services are only two of the many possibilities that can provide value to an organization. No, ang key issues is not the key issues is the focus on developing a new product. No, not all can be able to innovate. Not all can be able to develop a certain product. With innovating, when they try to innovate, when say innovations, no, they can be made in process, the use of internet or the supply chain that reduce cost, increase productivity, expand markets, or improve of customer service. No? Ang nagiging issue dito ngayon is can they compete in terms of developing the product? Pag nag-develop ba sila ng product nila, can they stay ahead? No? Does it jeopardize yung factor ng quality? So yun yung nagiging issue. No? Yun yung nagiging issue din ng quality problems. Kasi ang nagiging issue ng quality problems sa business organizations is ang customers gusto nila ng uh, murang products. Murang products. And it does not follow na pag mura yung product, no, mataas ang quality ng product. So that's one of the concerns of what we call quality. Kasi pag gusto mo ng mataas na quality in terms of your products, you pay more for it. You pay for more for it. Yet mataas ang quality. Pero karamihan yun yung nagiging issue natin ngayon. Individuals want products to be cheap but the quality is still high. No, walang pong nangyayaring ganun. So that's one of the concerns. No, that's one of our key issues in today's business operations. Now, next is yung tinatawag nating risk management. In risk management, how would we able to cope up in this certain type of crisis? How would we able to manage this certain type of risks? No? Just like during this certain type of pandemic, no, during this type of occurrence of disasters. Okay, how can you manage this time of pandemic? No, no. So, anong gagawin natin? Ha? No? So, karamihan ng ginagawa, they have contingency plan. Okay, when when activities like this occur, ano yung gagawin mo? How can you able to overcome these certain problems? So, you should be ready. Na meron ka dapat plano. Okay? So, yung mga ginagawa ng mga iba to be able to continue with their business, ano yung mga ginagawa nila? No? They go to different avenues. Yung karamihan ng mga business organizations, uh, they now use social media as a form uh, as a form for them to sell their product. No? Yun yung karamihan. Dati hindi sila gumagamit ng social media. No? Kaya nga ngayon diyan na uh, nagkakaroon ng emphasis yung tinatawag natin online selling, no? That's how they able to cope up with this in their concern about this type of risks in this time of crisis. Kasi they cannot able to deliver the products pag naka-on-site sila. How can they able to advertise their products? So gumagamit sila ng online or social media for them to sell their products. Okay, what else? Um, they tap different business organizations for them to able to sell the product, no? Ibig sabihin, yung mga business organizations na walang delivery, ano yung ginagawa nila, no? Tinatap nila yung mga ah, delivery agencies. Kunyari, Wenbos, ah, Food Panda, for them to deliver their product para sa mga customers. Okay. So those are examples of plans in order to for them to cope up with this certain type of crisis. How they able to manage risks. And next one is competing in a global economy. How would you able to compete in a global economy? So nagiging concerns natin 'yan. We already talked about the issues or the emphasis of globalization. Now, can you able to focus on that? If you want to compete in a global company, focus on those certain concerns. Operations strategy, no? What else? Yung agility, process improvement, revenue management, no? You focus on if you want to compete, you give emphasis on that. Okay? And we have also yung environmental concerns, yung nagiging key issues nito. Okay? Are we compliant with the government in terms of yung environmental concerns? Okay? Do we are we concerned about yun global warming and pollution? Okay? Nakakadagdag ba tayo sa pollution sa environment? Okay, those are what we call environmental concerns. Okay, yun yung key issues. Kasi when we use technology, nag-advance tayo, we use machines. Yung machines na yun, what do they use? Sometimes they use uh, gasoline or diesel or oil. No? Okay. So, pag-andar gamit yung makina, pinapaandar mo naman yung makina nag-i-emit din ng nag-emit din ng smoke. Does that smoke contribute to air pollution? Yun yung mga concerns. Okay. Next is what we call ethical conduct. Ethics is a standard of behavior that guides how one should act in various situations. Okay. So there are 5 principles for thinking ethically. Yun yung tinatawag natin utilitarian principle. Is that the good done by an action or inaction should outweigh any harm it causes or it might cause. Okay? An example is not allowing a person who has had too much to drink to drive. Okay? Another example is yung, yung, yung karamihan na yung common. Ito yun, baka alam niyo to. Um, yung iPad, pag umiiyak yung bata, kailangan din pag umiiyak or pag ilang ginagawa yung bata, pinapalaro niyo ng iPad or tablet. The use of that tablet can harm the child. Pag nasosobrahan yung paggagamit ng bata yung sa tablet. Utilitarian principle. Does it do good in using that certain tablet? Okay, that's what we call utilitarian principle. Another, the use of medicines. Okay, ginagamit mo. Pero pag inaabuso mo, that's not good. Hindi yung tinatawag ng utilitarian. The use of that certain. Pag sinabi natin utilitarian, from the term utility, yung pagkagamit ng product. Okay. Another example, kalsada. Sinimento na di kalsada, ngayon mo sa renda may laing na pagbilagan tirik. the basketball court, pagbilagan na nila, the use of that certain, the use of that certain uh, project or that certain product. Yun yung principle. Does it benefit? Does it benefit for the use of that certain product? Okay. Then we have the rights principle. Okay, is that action should respect and protect the moral rights of others. Based on what we call yung rights principle is based on our Bill of Rights. Okay? The rights principle. The use of our moral rights of others. Fairness principle that equals should be held to or evaluated for the same standards. Okay? Fairness. Is it fair to all? Sila kung mga pinagtrabaho mo di kastoy, sweldo ang nalain tinasayaan. Be fair enough. The common good principle is that action should contribute to the common good of the community. Okay. Okay. An example is an ordinance on noise abatement. Example, the common good principle. Pagiji, nagbibideo okay. Na ingana dapat na ingana lastes. Kasi for the good of all. No? Kasi dobot kaya hindi maturog hindi lastes na hanga mariribok ka lastes. Okay. For the common good. Pagsiyaatan di para amin. Okay. Gagawa ka ng bagay na pagsayatan. Then we have what we call virtue principle. The virtue principle is that action should be consistent with certain ideals or virtues. What are those? Honesty, compassion, generosity, tolerance, fidelity, integrity, and what we call self-control. Do you have this certain virtue? Okay. So if you are ethically good. Okay. Then we have the next issue is on the how we'll be able to manage our supply chain. Okay. So our issues is the need to improve operations. Okay. In terms of cost and time reduction. Kasi may mga establishments in terms of yung sa mga supply chain, sa mga suppliers natin, do they deliver in time? Kasi ang nagiging problema is when you try to order certain products, there are certain suppliers, they should deliver it on time. Kasi mag-jeopardize din yung operations mo. Kasi kakailanganin mo yung product, yung raw materials, in order to produce the product. Kasi pag hindi na-deliver yung product, ang nagiging concern mo dyan, wala kang ipoproduce na product. Wala kang mabibenta na produkto. Okay? So, yun yung nagiging concern ng suppliers, the need to improve operations. Now, maganda na kasi meron na tayong madami na yung mga nagde-deliver ng mga raw materials na tayo. Meron ng, dati LBC lang, tsaka JRS na yun, meron ng Ninja Van, meron ng JNT, no, DLD, DHL, may FedEx. So, tendency na mas madami, mas maganda. Mas madami, may competition. Pag may competition, mag-i-improve yung services. Okay? Mag-i-improve yung services. Okay. Increase levels of outsourcing. Outsourcing is the buying goods or services instead of producing or providing them in-house. No? The helping the community itself. No? Imbes na, for example, agluto ako ba Miki, amon tiglad, agladdi. Ngayon, anin ka nangin ladyayan. Tulong ka pa dun sa other business organizations. That's what we call increasing levels of outsourcing. No? Kaya mo naman, pero bilhin mo na lang doon. Okay? Nakakatulong ka pa. Okay. Next is the increasing transportation costs. Yes. The concern natin yun because transportation costs are increasing and they need to be more carefully managed. Yung transportation costs, dinidictate yan ng international market, no? So world market. So that's one of their concern in terms of supply chain. Competitive pressures, yes. Yan, dahil sa madami na rin ang nagsusupply, ang nagiging concern nila is yung kalaban mo, no? Baka kaya nilang tapatan yung especially yung price, di ba? Yung competitive pressures. Kasi as business organizations, you always wanted to purchase your products at a low price, a low cost. So, nalaka ni Gastoy, kaya mo nga tapatan. Siyempre, competitive pressures, gusto mo lang makabenta ka, tatapatan mo yung presyo or bababaan mo yung presyo. No? So, will it affect your business organization or yes, your business organizations as a supplier? Definitely yes. No, because of the competitive pressures from different business organizations. Okay. Then yes, the one increasing globalization. Same is to with competitive pressures. Baka nang dahil sa globalization, nag-i-increase na rin ng ah ah, nag-i-increase na rin ang challenges of managing a supply chain. Kasi because of globalization, in the international organizations can be able to supply also your needs. Sila kumandi, like right now, ano yung nangyayari? Yung mga PPE, no? Meron na, imbes na galing sa Pilipinas, galing pa yung China yung mga iba at a lower cost. So, increasing globalization, that would be in the increase in competitive pressure. Okay. Next, the increased importance of e-business. Yes, nakikita natin ang importansya ngayon ng e-business. Okay? Mas mabilis yung delivery ng product, mas mabilis natin ma-advertise yung product, mas mabilis tayo makakabenta. Popost mo lang, share mo lang, makakabenta ka na. Na there are, yung nga, sinasabi ko, na there are different platforms that we are using in order to sell our product. So nakikita na natin ang importance ng ginatawag natin e-business. Now, yung complexity of supply chain. So ito yung nagiging concern natin, yung inaccuracy. Naaapektuhan yung business natin. Late delivery, substandard quality, equipment breakdowns, and or canceled or changed orders. Yan yung nagiging concern natin. No? Baka yung in-order mo na ganito, iba yung dumating. Naapektuhan yung naapektuhan yung pag-produce mo ng product kasi iba yung dumating na products. Iba yung dumating na delivery nila. That's the key issue na maapektahan yung supply chain. Kaya dapat, yun nga, dapat ni-improve natin yung operations ng as a supplier. As a supplier. Okay. So, that's it for our week 3, module 1. So if there are any questions, again, just type in your questions on our week 3 topic comments section, and I will be discussing that to you in our next meeting. Okay, that's all. Thank you and good day.